Hi, this is Brooke Kroger, Creative Country Mom, and this is Notes from a Country Garden, May Garden Tour of 2013. This is our first garden tour for this gardening year, and it's almost the end of May. Normally I would have already done at least 2 or 3 by now, but that is exactly how crazy it has been around here this year. My little girl is graduating the 5th grade, and my big girl has been very busy with tennis. And, well, you can just imagine. My main title nowadays is kind of the taxi driver of wheeling 2 girls around from one event to the other. But congratulations to all of us. This is the last week of school here in southern Indiana. So I'm hoping things might calm down around here a little bit. So, what's been going on the last few days? Well, we've had everything from 3 inches of rain in one day to hail last week to overnight freezes and frost warnings. It has been a crazy spring. And all of my roses and my irises are blooming beautifully, but all of the days that I've had time to photograph them, they've been waterlogged. So we've had a lot of droopy blooms this year, but the sun came out on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, and I decided this would be the perfect time to create a video for you guys. If you haven't noticed my videos before, I have started a series, and I think I've been doing it for a couple years now, and I called it Notes from a Country Garden. And the reason I came up with that idea is I just thought, what better way to journal and to show you exactly what the garden looks like by the video, because it adds so much. You can actually see all the colors and the movement with the wind and the birds and the butterflies and the actual what the plants really look like in a garden. There is no cheats and there is no Photoshop. This is what it is. And it's a mass of random color. It's full, it's lush, it's overgrown. It probably needs more tending than it gets, but it is me and I love it. And I hope that you can appreciate your own country gardens. So what's in bloom this time? Irises, irises, irises. I went a little crazy a couple years ago and started buying irises on eBay, and I found some really neat gardeners that are just like me. They're home gardeners who love to collect plants. And I started purchasing them left and right, and in 1 year I planted the majority of these gardens. And the irises are just stunning. I've tried to find some unusual colors, and if you have followed my blog for very long, you know that I love blues and pinks and purples and anything with white in it. So you'll notice kind of a theme, but each one is different and they're gorgeous. And honestly, I do have a repeat bloom in the fall, but right now is the most beautiful time for the irises. And as well, another one that's blooming that's one of my favorites is the peonies. You know, it's all about where you live, how you pronounce that. People here in southern Indiana call them pineys, but to me it's always been peonies. So however you want to pronounce them, they're still as beautiful and they're still so sweet to smell. So I have a lot of different varieties, from some of the new hybrids that are a little more attractive to collectors to the old-fashioned favorites, the doubles, the palms, the pinks, the whites, the creams, the mixes. And later on I have more of the reds and the dark pinks, but for right now it's basically my white ones that are blooming, and I have at least 50 here around the house. And they're so pretty. Even when they're not in bloom, they're great fillers. Their foliage looks nice. The roses are just starting. The rose garden looked the prettiest for foliage this year that I've ever seen it when it first started to bud out, but I have to tell you, this has been the wettest spring I can ever remember, and I'm already seeing some signs of disease and black spot. And I looked at the weather forecast for the next week, and it just seems like we have rain every 2 or 3 days. So, you know, put our armor on, because we're going to need a treat this year. I feel like it might be a challenge, but it's another day growing roses. You know, this is my passion. I grow well over 60 varieties, and last count there were well over 125 roses in my garden. And some of them are more disease resistant than others, but I feel like it's worth it to me. So I'll get at it, but I have noticed already, and I hate this, that it's the third week of May and I'm seeing black spot, but I live on a lake and it has been really wet, which the rain has made the garden look lush, but you know, it's always a battle, one after the other. So let's see, what else has been going on? Well, I also work at the library part-time here in our county. We're getting ready for summer reading program. So I have been very busy with that, and I've been doing a lot of lecturing. I was able to speak for a County Kiwanis group with about 25 people in attendance. And earlier this spring, I did a lecture for 150 Purdue Extension homemakers. And that was my largest group. I was their only speaker, and they let me speak for 40 minutes. And I did a slideshow and a movie, kind of like what you're seeing today. And it has been fantastic, and it has led to several new gardeners and also just people who enjoy pretty houses and pretty things, and not so much into gardening, but to come out here and to share the garden and have them take a look around and enjoy the lake and what's blooming. So, as always, I enjoy opening my doors and letting people out here to enjoy it, because what is the sense of me doing all this big garden without having others to see it? So, if you live here close and you know who you are, close enough to see me, you know, at the store or at the library, this is the perfect time, now through the 1st of June, well, actually now through Christmas, but especially this first spring blooms on the roses. They are just fantastic. So if you live close, send me an email, give me a call, because right now would be a great time to come out and see the garden. Well, what else? Things are good. It's been a long winter, and I'm awful happy to get going again, posting here on the site and sharing all these pretty pictures with you. If you're new to the blog, welcome. I'm so glad to have you, and if you would leave a comment or send me an email or a note online, I would be more than happy to follow you back and enjoy your garden as well. Okay, I think I've talked your ear off. This is Brooke Kroger, Creative Country Mom, and this has been Notes from a Country Garden.